everybody and welcome back to the Blossom Crochet channel. If this is your first time visiting, then hello, my name is Rebecca, and if you don't already, then make sure you click on that subscribe button and also on the little bell icon, and then click to receive notifications so that you never miss one of my crochet videos. In this step-by-step tutorial, I will be showing you how to make this beautiful blossom stitch. It's a really delicate, beautiful stitch which is quite dense, so it's a really wonderful one for crochet blankets but also scarves and things as well. It's just a really lovely stitch, and you get some wonderful definition as well depending on the yarn that you choose to use. For that sample piece I was just using this Caron Simply Soft, and this is the shade, I think it was, oh there we go, Victorian Rose is the shade that I've used for this sample piece. So it's a beautiful simple stitch, and it's great even if you're only a beginner as well. So let's get started with the blossom stitch. Okay, so for this stitch you want to start obviously with your slip knot on your hook as always, and then you want to complete your foundation chain in multiples of 4. So you're going to chain the width that you want your project to be and make sure it is a multiple of 4. So yarn over, pull through, it's 1, yarn over, pull through, it's 2, 3, 4. So if you just complete your foundation chain, and I'll meet you in just a second. So once you've completed that, you want to add an additional chain to the end of your chain. So add 1 chain. We're then going to work into the 3rd chain from the hook, so 1, 2, 3, and we're going to be putting a V-stitch into this chain. So a V-stitch always consists of treble, chain 1, treble, all in the same stitch. Now remember, I'm using UK terms, so in the US that would be your double, chain 1, double. So you're going to yarn over, insert into that 3rd chain, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through those first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the second 2 loops, chain 1, and then another treble back into that same chain. So those stitches are all worked into that same chain. So that is your first V-stitch. You're then going to skip 1 chain and you're going to put a double crochet, so that's UK double, US single, into the next chain. So skip 1 and then double. So insert your hook, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both of those loops. Again, you're going to skip 1 and then you're going to do a V-stitch. So skip 1 chain and V-stitch in the next. So yarn over and insert, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, and then another treble back into that same chain. Again, so that is the pattern repeat. You'll skip 1 and then do a UK double. So yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, skip 1, and then V-stitch. So you'll repeat that all the way along until you get towards the end of your foundation chain, and that is where I will meet you in just a second. So as you get towards the end, I've just done a V-stitch and I've got 2 stitches left, so I'm going to skip 1 and then a double into that very end stitch. So yarn over and pull through both. And that is how you should look at this point. Doesn't look like very much obviously until you've worked up a few rows, but that is how you should look at the moment. So you're going to turn your work now, and then into this very first stitch where we're just coming up from, you want to insert your hook through that stitch, go through the whole of the stitch making sure to catch the V, yarn over and pull up, and yarn over, pull through both of those loops, and then you can see the stitch has 2 vertical parts to it. Insert your hook behind the one that's closest to your working end, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, and that just gives us a treble height stitch but without doing a chain, so we don't get a big gap, and that is just my preferred way. You can chain 3 if you'd rather. So now you're going to move straight to that chain 1 space, so you're going to be skipping over the top of this treble, and into the chain 1 space you're going to put a double crochet. So yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both, chain 1. You're going to skip the top of the next treble and you're going to work 1 treble into the top of the double crochet from the last row. So yarn over, skip the treble and do your treble into the top of the double crochet. Chain 1 and then double into the chain 1 space of your V-stitch. Chain 1, skip the next treble and do a treble crochet into the top of the double from the previous row. Chain 1, double crochet into the chain 1 of the V-stitch, chain 1 and treble into the double. So again, you're going to repeat that all the way along. So as you get towards the end, I've done my treble, chain 1, and then I've got a V-stitch here, so I'm going to do my double crochet into that chain 1, chain 1, and then those chains that we skipped at the beginning of the foundation row, we are going to put 1 treble into the top of that turning chain. So after your final treble, you will put a treble crochet. Okay, so that's how we're looking after that row. So that is row 2. So that is the first part of your pattern repeat, and then this next row is row 3, which is the second part of your pattern repeat. So you want to turn your work. Again, we're going to insert our hook into that very first stitch, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to stop there this time because that is going to count as our first UK double. So pop a stitch marker into this stitch to make it really easy on the way back down to find this end stitch. So you're going to skip over this chain 1 space and you're going to find your first double from the last row, and you're going to put a V-stitch into that double. So yarn over, insert into that double crochet, do your treble, chain 1 and treble back in that same stitch, and then into the top of that treble from the last row you're going to put a double. So insert through the hole of the stitch, yarn over and pull up and complete your double, and then again you're going to V-stitch into the top of your double crochet from the last row. So treble, chain 1 and treble. Again, double crochet into the top of the treble from the row below, and then V-stitch into the next double crochet. And you're just going to repeat that all the way along, and I will meet you towards the end of your row in just a second. So once again, I'm pretty much at the end. I have just got my double crochet left and then that treble from the start of the last row. So I'm going to put my V-stitch into that final double crochet from the last row, and then into the top of that treble stitch that we did, I'm going to put a double crochet. So that is it after your first pattern repeat. So you've got a row 2 and you've got a row 3. So you're going to repeat rows 2 and 3 until your project is the length that you want it to be. I would just start off another row 2 with you just to firm up things. So you'll turn and then you'll insert your hook into that very first stitch where you've just completed, and then yarn over, pull through 2, and then insert your hook behind the vertical part of the stitch, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you're ready straight away to start with your double into the chain 1 space. Chain 1 and then treble into the double crochet, and you'll complete that next row 2, and then you'll do another row 3. And at the end of a row 2 you'll do your double, chain one, and then you'll do a treble into the top of that very first double crochet that we did at the start of the last row. So I just wanted to show you the very end of a row 2 again. But yeah, you should be able now to repeat rows 2 and 3 until your project is the size that you want it to be. But I really hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. The Blossom Stitch is a really beautiful, delicate stitch, and I hope to see you again very soon for the next tutorial. But thanks as always for watching, and bye for now.